Hey everybody, it's time to swing. We're still swinging, and I'm your host, Thomas. In the day, family, we got my boy YNW Melly Girlfriend being arrested and charged with not testifying in the YNW Melly Double Homi case. Look, family, I don't know why this sister decided to get herself into something like this, but without further ado, let's get to the business.
Presented by Law and Crime, I'm Jesse Weber. So anybody who follows Sidebar knows that we were pretty heavy in covering the YNW Melly double murder trial out of Broward County, Florida. This was the case of the rapper, real name Jamel Demons, who's accused of shooting to death his two friends and fellow YNW group rappers Christopher Thomas Jr., or YNW Juvie, and Anthony Williams, or YNW Sack Chaser. The two men were found shot to death on October 26, 2018, after Melly's co-defendant, Cortland Henry, or YNW Bortland, pulled up to the hospital with the bodies of Thomas and Williams in the car, claiming that they were all victims of a drive-by shooting. Now, the evidence has suggested that this was a staged drive-by shooting and that the shots actually came from inside the vehicle. And in their case, the prosecution focused on ballistics, trajectory, potential gang affiliations of YNW Melly, but in the end, it didn't work. The jury didn't find Melly guilty, but they also didn't find him not guilty. They actually couldn't make a decision. They were hung, and a mistrial was ultimately declared. It came after 14 hours of deliberations. Not an easy case. And as we...
I don't know, bro. I don't know, family. I hope this youngster didn't do that.
Think about the upcoming retrial. We look back at the case and we think, wow, there were a lot of people who testified, but there was one significant absence, someone who was mentioned but never appeared in court. YNW Melly's former girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton. Now, why is she so important? Well, Mariah Hamilton's mother, Felicia Holmes, told police in December of 2018 about a FaceTime call between Melly and Hamilton, her daughter, right after the shooting, where, according to her, Melly said someone shot the car up, that a car was coming behind him, that presumably the shooter or shooters were hiding there, and then he said he thinks Sack Chaser and Juvie are dead. Then she says she saw Melly at this guy Fredo Bang's house. Apparently, Fredo picked him up after the shooting. And while she offered to Melly to stay with her after all of this happened, she says Melly went to a video shoot after all this happened. Then at some point, Holmes says that her daughter told her that Melly was threatening her and that she feels Melly had something to do with the murders. Hamilton even talked to law enforcement about a text from Melly where he allegedly says, "I take lives." Hamilton also addressed possible tension that Melly may have had with one of the victims, and follow-up reporting indicates that might have been Sack Chaser. Now, this is important testimony, right? This is important evidence. But the problem was Miss Holmes' sworn deposition years later in 2022 was not consistent with what she told police in 2018. In fact, when Holmes took the stand in YNW Melly's trial, things got heated, basically accusing the government, from law enforcement to the prosecutor, of threatening her and her daughter, Mariah Hamilton, to testify against Melly.
Did you have an opportunity to read the statement you gave in 2018?
I read the statement.
Okay.
I don't recall, I don't remember anything from that statement, but I do remember my deposition from December 22.
Were you honest and truthful with law enforcement when you spoke with them?
I would hope so. I mean, it was 2018. I went through a lot during that year, so I'm not sure where my mindset was at that time. I do remember that they kind of bullied me and threatened my daughter to take her to jail for accessory after the fact. I do remember that.
When you first took the stand, you said, "I feel threatened."
Yes, sir, I do.
Who do you feel threatened by?
Objection, Your Honor.
Christine Bradley, the prosecutor's office.
This prosecutor.
Yes, I do.
So with that in mind, we here at Law and Crime had the unique opportunity to actually interview Mariah Hamilton herself. Again, she never appeared in court. Now, in our interview, she was accompanied by her attorney, Christopher Barris. This was in his law office. And also her mother, Felicia Holmes, was there as well. And we asked her some questions. And with that, let's play you our interview. Mariah Hamilton, thank you so much for coming on. I think I want to start off by just saying
This is YNW Melly's girlfriend family.
I'm so happy to see you and meet you, because it's been kind of, I think a lot of people wanted to hear from you. I think a lot of people were expecting to see you at the trial. And there's been some issues in terms of what's been happening with the police. If you can explain to people why we haven't seen you or heard from you.
You guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted. I've tried to get the warrant lifted plenty of times, but it's just been like a constant battle with my lawyer and the prosecutor. So I've just been, laying low, trying to get the warrant lifted before I could even come in and speak my part.
Let's talk about that. So, and by the way, you are in your lawyer's office. Your lawyer, Christopher Barris, is off to the side. He's going to come in a little bit later. Yeah. So I saw that it was only, I think, yesterday or the few days before, you filed a complaint against the lead investigator in YNW Melly's trial, Mark Moretti. And you basically accused him of bullying you and harassing you into providing testimony in this case. What can you tell us about that?
When the situation first happened, me and my mom was I was threatened. I was 17, about to turn 18. They came to my house. They were telling me that they were going to arrest me with accessory after the fact. My mom didn't know what to do. I was young. I didn't have a criminal record. I didn't have a background. I was trying to go to the military at the time, so I had to just tell them what they wanted to hear so they could leave me alone, which I thought they would leave me alone, but they didn't. So, yeah.
I wish this young sister wouldn't have got involved in this.
Why did they think that you were a part of what happened?
Because I was his girlfriend at the time. So they thought that I knew more than what I was telling them that I knew, which I didn't. So they were just harassing me, being that I was his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time. So,
when you say Mark Moretti,
Fair use family. Colton James Hodge, thanks for pulling up. Salute. Nola, thanks for pulling up. Salute.
Was harassing you, what was he saying to you? What was he doing?
When he first came to my house, it was so unexpectedly. I had put up with my cousin, and they were outside my house, parked. And I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, what's going on or whatever. I'm asking her what's going on. She was like, they want to talk to you. You have to talk to them. They're threatening, saying that you're going to go to jail. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I end up telling him my story. I told him what I knew. He told me that I was lying. He told me that I knew more than what I was telling, and that he was going to he could arrest me for accessory after the fact. So we end up doing, he wanted me to get on a tape recording and tell him what he wanted me to tell him, so which I did. After that, he was like, they wouldn't bother me anymore. I thought they wouldn't bother me anymore. They was still calling and texting my mom, asking for me. I refused to talk so many times. And yeah, I haven't really talked to them ever since then, since 2019. So,
And now you said that there's an arrest warrant. You know, it's still out. It's still outstanding. Why do you feel comfortable coming out now and talking about this?
because I just want people to know that I'm not running because of like any money or anything like that. It's because I don't want to go to jail for something that I did. I don't want to go to jail for something that I didn't do or something that I'm not a part of. I just feel like people's looking at my side of this. They're looking at it.
Does she know what she got herself into, family? She talking about she don't want people to think she ran out of money.
Looking at me wrong, and that's not what they're showing is not true, basically.
You want to clear the record. So you file this complaint against Mark Moretti.
Yes.
What are you hoping happens there?
I hope the judge can lift the warrant off me, and I don't mind coming in to talk. I never mind coming in to talk. Me and my lawyer tried to go in to talk on so many occasions, but I was always threatened with, if I don't tell them what I want to hear, what they want to hear, I'm gonna go to jail. So it's like I never went to jail before, so that's my main concern right now.
Oh, I get it. Let's talk a little bit about YNW Melly. So first of all, how did you meet him and when did you meet him?
I met him, I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. I met him through mutual friends. It was my homecoming night. He had just got out of a program. He had just got out of a program. We met through mutual friends. He was like, his friend was telling me that he wanted to see me after homecoming. So me and my friends was like, okay, we'll link up with you guys after homecoming or whatever like that. So instead of us going to like, after homecoming, you go to after parties, we end up like hanging out with them. And ever since that night, me and him just been cool. Like we just been close ever since then.
Was it like love at first sight? Like you thought he was attractive or like?
I wouldn't say me, but for him,
He was.
He gave me weird. Like when we first met, I thought he was weird. My friends was like, he just really likes you. I'm like, I don't know, but it was cute, but it was like weird too at the same time.
Well, you were so young, right?
Yeah. I was 15. I was 15 and he was like 17, I think. Yeah, he was like 17. So,
what's he like? Like, what's his personality like? Because I think there was a lot made during the course of his trial about his demeanor, smiling in the courtroom, praying, kissing up in the sky. What's he like?
He's just he's different. Like he's a very outspoken person. Like he doesn't mean no harm, but he's really different. Like he's always lightening up the room, like regardless. Like if he's even going through something, nobody would tell because he don't show it. Like he shows it differently. So he's different he's different. He's goofy. Yeah.
What was your relationship like with him?
We was good. Our relationship was good, but we had some bad times too. I wouldn't say we was always good. We had our differences, which any other couple had. But our relationship was good. We was like best friends. He'll tell me anything, I tell him anything. When I'm going through stuff, he'd be there for me. When he's going through stuff, I'd be there for him. So yeah.
Are you guys currently talking at all, communicating?
No.
Is it because of what happened?
I honestly, it's not even just because of what happened. I just think, it just might not be the right time for for us with the relationship part as of right now. So yeah, maybe we can come along in the in the meantime or in the long run in the future. But as of right now, I'm trying to get myself together, and I know he have a lot going on. So it's like,
Has he ever tried? Has he tried to reach out recently?
no.
A big part of this case was talking about, is it possible YNW Melly would shoot his two friends? And the question became,
Shout out to the chat, Bobo Anderson. Thanks for pulling up. Appreciate your support. Family, do you believe her? Do you believe her, family?
you know, is he violent? Have you ever seen him violent in any way?
No, no. He's a very goofy person. I don't think he would be violent. I don't think he's a violent person at all. Like, he's never showed any violence towards me. So, no.
You believe he not in contact with her family?
And
You ever
he
see him?
loved his friends.
You ever see him with weapons or anything like that?
No.
And the accusation that he was part of a gang, what do you make of that?
He never showed me that he was a part of a gang. He never told me, like, hey, I'm a part of a gang, or I'm this, I'm that. Like, the things that they were talking about during the trial, like, I was new to that as well. Like, I didn't know of him being or wanting to be, or however they're trying to paint the picture of him being
Shout out to the chat. Bobo Anderson says some Keishas aren't credible, bro. Bro, I'm kind of failing you on this one.
in the gang. So
Did you ever hear of any of those people that he was communicating with, that they say he was communicating with?
I heard about them, but I just thought everybody was just all friends, close friends. Like, I was never a part of, he kept me out of anything that he ever had going on. So, yeah, they were like
When you
friends to me.
when you say that he kept you, in other
So I don't get why she would get involved in any of it.
words, was he on his phone talking? People were like taking phone calls away from you, or not making sure he didn't see
Oh,
your
no.
phone? Nothing like that.
No. I had his password to his phone. So, like, and he would never walk away while he's on the phone to talk to anyone, not in front of me.
So in other words, if he was part of a gang or he was talking to people who were part of a gang, that's something you would have known.
I would have known, yeah.
You trying to be a gangster chick, gonna find yourself in the penitentiary, girl. You better stop playing.
And no, I never known that. No.
I want to talk about Sack Chaser and Juvie. What were they like? You know, I really just want to get an understanding. Their lives were lost. It's a tragedy. What were they like? What was your relationship with them?
Man, I swear I hope Shorty didn't do that to his two friends.
They were like family to me. They were like my brothers. They always made sure I was straight. Anywhere we go, like his shows, to the studio, anywhere, they made sure I was straight. Like, made sure I had something to eat. Like, if I had to go to the bathroom, they would walk me to the bathroom. They were like big brothers to me, honestly. And I never had brothers before, so I really appreciated that a lot. Like, even when there was times where, if it was an altercation, they'll make sure like I'm okay. They'll make sure I'm straight. So I really appreciated that a lot.
Did Melly ever have any problems with them? Because there were accusations that, they might have been jealous of him. There might have been financial problems, money problems, anything like that, you see?
No, not at all. Like, he loved them. They went, them two out of everybody. It's a whole bunch of people a part of YNW. Them two, they were there everywhere he went. Like, anywhere he would go, he would make sure they're in his budget. He'll make sure they're a part of his budget. He'll make sure they got a flight. He was just always helpful to everybody. So, yeah.
Mariah, do you think Melly killed Sack Chaser and Juvie?
No, I do not.
What makes you say that?
Because he treated them like they were his brothers, like they all have the same mom and the same dad. which they didn't. But he never showed a sign that he didn't like them. He didn't want them around or anything in that sort. So that was just odd.
Family, I swear I hope he didn't do that to his two good friends.
He didn't do it. Do you have a theory about who did do it?
No, I don't.
What have you met Cortland Henry?
Yes, I did. Yes, I have.
What's he like?
He's cool. He's like a brother too. We're both Aquarius, so sometimes we have our little differences, but he's like a brother to me too. He's really cool. Yeah, I know him. That's the crazy part. I know him longer than I know Melly. So yeah, we just had, we had a long.
What's Melly's relationship with Cortland Henry?
The same. Like they known each other for a long time. They all went to school together. They were like brothers. They were in a rap group together when they were younger. Yeah, they love the studio. They bond at the studio, even outside the studio. They always bond.
Would you say that Melly's relationship with Cortland Henry was closer than it was with Sack Chaser and Juvie?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
Do you think that he is capable of killing Sack Chaser and Juvie, Henry?
I don't think so.
I want to get a little bit into what happened that night. The night that you found out, first let's just start from this. When you found out that they were killed, where were you and what was your reaction?
I was at home in Cocoa, and I was in shock. I was in disbelief. I didn't think it was true. I thought it wasn't true at all. Until I actually came down there and found out about it.
Who told you, or how'd you find out?
Can you answer that question?
Oh, the police are the ones that really told you the story.
Huh?
It was the police who told you about the incident, I think.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. So yeah. I found out through the police. Yeah.
They came to you and told you. And what was your reaction? Were you just shocked? Did you break down into tears? Did you say, what's happening?
Yeah, I was crying. I was terrified. I was scared. I was scared for everybody in the situation. Me and my mom went that way, and I couldn't ever since that situation, I couldn't sleep for a few days. Like I was just still in shock about the whole situation. So yeah.
Did you call Melly immediately and say, are you okay? Or did he call you?
I went down there immediately.
Went down where?
To Miami. Because I live in Cocoa at the time.
Right.
So I went to Miami. Yeah.
But did you speak to him before you went down and said, I'm on my way? Or
No.
Did he say anything to you about the shootings?
No, he never talked to me about the shootings.
So there's been a lot of back and forth that he had communicated to you about it and said that he was there, that it was a drive-by. Is that not true?
No. Wait a second. Mariah, Mariah's position, Jesse, is that, she was never told by either Melly or Portland about the incident itself. She did learn about it, but she never had any conversation with either of those two individuals about the actual incident, anything that happened that night. So the questions you're asking, I know everyone wants to know the answer to those questions, but I think that's what she's going to tell you, and no matter how many times you ask her that.
Well, I only asked her one time, so I'm just curious if she says she didn't know anything about it, she didn't speak to him. I mean, I'm sure Mariah can tell me that, but I'm just curious.
Okay. Well, I want her to tell you herself, but I don't want this to turn into an more. if she tells you she doesn't know, she doesn't know, and it's not going to help to try to get into the after conversations or any meetings that you may have had with either the
Well,
two
I hope,
individuals.
Mariah, you don't think this is interrogation, but I will tell you, your lawyer did say that we could ask anything about the case. So I hope that this isn't a tension, but I just wanted to ask. If you don't want me to move on, I can definitely move on.
Concerning the night with what I have going on with the situation, I don't feel comfortable speaking on the situation from that night.
Okay. So let's talk about the trial. Did you watch it at all?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was sometimes where I could watch it, and then sometimes I just cut it off, and yeah, I hated it. Like I didn't like it at all.
What'd you hate about it?
Just how the picture was painted. Basically, I didn't like that, especially with me and my mom, and how we got like paid off when that never happened. So.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. And by the way, if your mom wants to come in for this question, I would love to ask her about this too, because we covered the trial. Yes, your mom is there too. Hi. I just was curious. Hi. Good to see you. So I wanted to ask you real quick about this. That was a very heated moment in that courtroom between you and the prosecutor. What can you tell us about that?
It just was a lot of anger with me because of everything me and my daughter have been through, what Christine Bradley's tried to put us through. I felt like we're getting persecuted more than the defendants. You know, I feel like the Cortland has more rights than I do. You know, I'm on a ankle monitor, and I'm supposed to be your witness. And when I'm telling you one thing, it's like you're not taking that for an answer. Even right before I came into the courtroom, I was in a little room with Christine, and she asked me a question. I told her I didn't know, and she was like, "Really, Felicia?" Like telling me you do know the answer. Like anything we tell them, you have to go back and forth with her with it. I'm going to file a complaint against Mrs. Bradley. That's something I'm talking to my lawyer about right now. I have with Dr. Detective Moretti, but we did just go to court. She had court on my birthday to have the ankle monitor off for her to get in front of the judge and say, like, I'm a flight risk. I'm not going to show up for testimony. And she doesn't want me to have it off. So at this point, I don't want to testify, but if I have to, I'm going to go plead the fifth, because at this point, I'm going to get arrested. She's trying to send me to jail. I mean, there's no immunity for me and my child.
Can you both make this clear for anybody who's following and haven't followed the complexity? Has there ever been a point when either of you were evading law enforcement, evading the ability to testify, and they were trying to track you down and you were not cooperative? If you can.
Baby girl, this is what happened when you got involved. Now you got your mama involved.
Make it clear about that, what that means. Were you ever evading law enforcement or trying to testify?
When you say evade, I'm not going to say I evaded them. What I'm going to say happened was I was a travel nurse in California. She was serving subpoenas in Florida. I'm in California. You're serving subpoenas to my ex-husband's house. We don't live there anymore. I have an address. Christine Bradley has not had one sheriff knock on my door in Orlando, Florida, and serve me a subpoena, not once, ever.
Mariah, what did you think of your mom's testimony? As I said, it was heated.
Yeah, it really was heated. Like I said, I didn't like it. I just felt like she was painting a wrong picture for me and my mom, basically making it seem like we were paid off, and that wasn't the case.
And that we were running from her when our lawyer has called her on so many times, and we've even set up times to meet with her to get this taken care of. And it's like with her, it's either you go to jail, you say what I want you to say, or you go to jail. And I don't think witnesses shouldn't be treated like that.
And that's the reason why I have.
Because that case is going to be on TV, and they don't want you to look stupid.
My daughter's
came because you're threatening me with jail if I don't tell you what I want to hear, and it's like, that's not fair.
She's never been to jail. She's had me in Broward County Jail. It's filthy. It's disgusting. I was treated like crap in there. I don't want my daughter to be put to that, do anything like that. So, I went to jail for it.
I'm not going to get into the substance of it, but just so we're clear, there's never been a situation where you told one story and then changed your story, because that's their accusation.
Their accusation is I told one story and changed my story, but they're not telling you that the story I initially told was under duress. We're basically forced to tell the story. Are you going to take my 17-year-old daughter to jail? I mean, I'm not trying to see my child go to jail for anybody. So if the stories did change, it changed because of what they set into play. It's on them that stories changed. But if I want to tell the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear
Right.
They want to hear whatever they can hear to make a case against Melly to convict him for a first double homicide and get the death penalty. That's what Christine wants. She wants my story to help her get that.
Let me ask you both this. Were you surprised that they went for the death penalty against YNW Melly?
I was surprised. I was surprised with the death penalty because of the evidence. Because, I didn't even think he did it. The first person who ever told me that he did it was Detective Moretti. It never even crossed my mind. I was a mother-in-law who was thinking that, because I knew he had gotten to with other rappers, and my daughter actually got into an altercation with him and another rapper in California at a studio, and it happened maybe like 3-4 weeks before that. So I'm thinking that that's what happened. I'm thinking rappers someone's trying to kill him. So that's what I was under the impression. I never once thought this young man, because he's always been happy. He's always been dancing. I've never seen him with a gun. So I never once thought that he could actually kill the two guys who I saw him with every time I saw him. It never crossed my mind.
And Mariah, what do you think again about they were going after him for the death penalty?
Yeah, it was crucial. It really hurt my heart for a minute. Even when he first went to jail, because it's like, it was just unbelievable, honestly.
So,
especially with somebody he was with every day, 24/7.
Mariah, you said you watched the trial. The prosecution presented evidence.
Smash that like button, fam. If you ain't subscribed, make sure you subscribe.
About where the bullets came from. They presented text messages about, whether or not he was involved in a gang. They presented evidence about, that he might have I did that on social media. When you were hearing the prosecution's evidence against YNW Melly, what did you think about it?
Honestly, I was just so in disbelief. Like, I would watch it sometime and then I'd turn it off. Like, some parts of it, I'll just turn it off, because it was just like, I can't believe this. Like, this is not what it's supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to be like this at all. So, yeah.
And forgive me, is it Felicia?
Yeah, Felicia.
What did you think of the prosecution's case?
I thought that she did a piss poor job. I don't think she's a good prosecutor. I don't think she's a good person. I don't think she should even have that job. I'm trying to figure out what is Broward County doing with someone like her, presenting a case this magnitude. I don't think she should be there. I don't think she knows what she's doing. So that's why I think she's doing all the manipulative stuff, is because she doesn't have her case together. She dropped the ball on so many things. Get your case together and stop making the witnesses pay for your mistakes. And that's what she's doing. She's made so many mistakes, her and Detective Moretti, to now it's falling back on me and my daughter, to making everyone think that our testimony is going to make or break your case. Your case should not be based off of me speaking with him the morning of. I didn't think he did it. I didn't know he did it. So why would my testimony be the smoking gun? I don't understand why she would think that my testimony would help her. I don't understand.
The jury couldn't come to a decision. There was a mistrial. What was your reaction to that, both of you?
I thought that it was. I felt bad for Melly, because I felt like if to get this far and now you have a mistrial and have to go through all this again. I just kind of felt bad for him, because he's still in jail. Like, everyone's thinking it's a celebration time because it was a mistrial. This man been in jail since 2018 off of evidence that's not even really there. So I thought that I felt bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for him.
I felt bad for him too. Despite like what me and him have going on, I wouldn't want to see him in that predicament and in that position at all, especially when I don't believe like what they're saying is true. So yeah. Were
you shocked, Mariah, that they couldn't come to a decision, or were you saying, I can understand that?
I was shocked, but also it's understandable, but I was shocked. Yes.
I was shocked. I thought it was going to be for sure not guilty with everything that Detective Ray and Christine Bradley have done to.
But the system nowadays is not the same,
especially in Florida.
Yeah. So.
Well, if his retrial happens, Mariah, I'll start with you. And they want you to testify. Are you going to testify?
I'm just trying to get the warrant lifted. I don't mind going to court as long as the warrant is lifted, which she's giving me a hard time with that. So I honestly don't have an answer to that.
She's wasting taxpayers' money. She has me on a house arrest being. I'm a nurse. You know, she's just, the lady's crazy. I think this is her career. It's for her career or something. This is personal. And you can see from me in her testimony that it was very personal. Like, she has a personal problem with me. It's nothing professional going on with me and Christine Bradley. This is all like we have the same baby daddy or something. Like, me and her have some beef with each other. That's how you can look at our testimony and see it's something personal going on there. So, you know,
I have to ask. I mean, if you end up on the witness box again and she's questioning you, what's that going to look like?
I'm going to plead the fifth because I'm not. She wants me in jail. She wants to impeach me, and she knows this today. So why would I get on the stand in November when I already know what you intend to try to do to me? So I'm going to go ahead and plead the fifth. So she's going to waste taxpayers' money for me to plead the fifth in November.
Well, by the way, what did you both think of Melly's defense team?
I think they did a pretty good job. I think he had a pretty good defense team. I guess I've never met any of them personally except for that day, but I do think that they kind of did okay.
Mariah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I feel like they did good as well. They definitely did good. Yeah.
Mariah, I have to ask you, if Melly is acquitted, you kind of gave the hint that maybe there'd be a future. Would you, get in contact with him again? Would you communicate with him? I see what your mom's saying, shaking her head, but
friends. Probably friends.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because I just want to be done with that family. I don't want anything else to do with those people. Like, my life has changed tremendously. I don't ever want to see him again. Like, I'm just over and done with it. I have no problem with him. I have nothing against them. But what has happened to me and my daughter, they could never understand. They would never understand. They don't know.
Felicia, real quick, do you have a theory as to what happened that night?
I think that maybe they pissed somebody off. I mean, these are rappers. They're going back and forth. They have all these beefs. I think someone followed them from the studio. I think maybe he pissed somebody off. I think, I say if he was in the car or not, I don't know. Maybe he was, and he doesn't want to tell them who actually did the shooting. I don't know, but I think that someone got mad because I just don't see him killing Sack and Juvie. I'm not even saying Sack a good person, because Sack's not a good person. I don't care why everybody paint this picture about him. He's an awful person. But Juvie, good guy. I don't think anything bad should ever happen to him. But I think that something pissed somebody off. I think Melly would have gotten shot too. I think he maybe was a target as well, and probably still is.
Any reason to think that, other than any? Well,
like I said, my daughter was just in. They just got jumped. They had just gotten jumped in Atlantic Records, I think, in L.A. Was it Atlantic Records by NBA YoungBoy and a whole bunch of guys. That just happened. And my daughter has a scar across her back about this long from the scuffle, from the fight. So
what was that like, Mariah?
I was terrified. I thought I was going to lose my life that day, honestly. It happened so quickly. It happened so quickly. Like, within a blink of an eye, we had just got to the studio and they all just started arguing and fighting. And next thing you know, we're getting jumped by so many guys, and I'm trying to shield and protect Melly. And the guys are not trying to hit me, but I'm literally in the middle, trying to lay on top of him just to guard him. And
when was this? How soon before the shooting was this?
I think this was in August of 2018. August or September.
A month or so before the murders.
Yeah, it was August or September of 2018.
Someone took his chain or something. They took his chain.
Yeah, his chain fell and they took it.
But they gave it back.
What started that?
We were outside and we were pulling up to the studio, and his friend Melly's Zach was like, there go NBA YoungBoy. So we all we're like, oh yeah, that is NBA YoungBoy. So we I feel like we're gonna get into it with him. So I'm just praying, like, God, please don't let us get into it with these people. Like, I hope not. So as we walk into the studio, like he sighed, like give Melly a look, like he sighs him. So Zach, like, what's up? Like, you straight or whatever? And he's like, he was like, yeah, I'm good or whatever. Then he just started saying stuff. And then Zach ended up saying something back to him. And then Melly was like, what's up? And he swung on Melly, they fought. And then the guys started jumping in. Everybody just started jumping in. I tried to jump on top of Melly to like guard him. It was just a big scuffle, honestly. Like, it was bad. It was horrible.
Did police ever look into this?
No.
No.
Wow.
It was just like,
No.
it happened and that was it. Like, Melly chain fell. They took it and ran out the studio and left. And that was it, honestly. Like, they never, yeah.
Wow. Before I let you go, I have two quick questions. First one was, there was a lot made about YNW Melly's relationship with his mom and the way he spoke to her. Mariah, what can you tell us about that?
Him and his mom relationship, he loved his mom. His mom is a crazy lady, though. She's crazy. But he loves her. She just always tried to come, but like he just wanted her to be a mom. Like, she's a mother, so of course she's going to be on you about studio time, going to shows on time. She's going to be on him regardless, and he didn't want her to do that. So they always, bump heads a little bit when it came to that. But he loved his mom. She's a good mom to him. She wanted to be a manager, and he was like, "No, just be a mom. I don't want you to be a manager. Just be a mom."
I think that clash with him and her are that she wants to be more in the limelight, and he wants her behind the limelight.
Off.
Yeah, he doesn't want. He wants her to be like a mom, a grandma mom, instead of a hip mom kind of thing.
I have to ask you your thoughts on what prosecution says. The biggest piece of evidence, the "shh, I did that" message. Do you think YNW Melly wrote that?
I honestly don't believe so. When they was showing it, like, from his Instagram, so many people had his Instagram password. I even had his Instagram password from time to times. Like, everybody shared everything when it came to his phone, to his social media. I used to be on there. I used to respond back to females all the time. So it was like, I don't know if that's what he did or not. But I used to respond to females all the time. So I don't know.
What did you say, Mariah?
Just like, I used to say
You don't want to know.
few things, but I'm a changed person now. So,
Felicia, what do you think about the message?
I didn't take. I mean, I don't think he would even. I would hope, God forbid, if he did do it, which I hope he didn't. What sane person would text that kind of crap after doing all this so-called cover-up, to cover up a homicide? You're just going to automatically just text out, "Shh, I did that" to somebody. That's like confession. That's confession 101. I don't think a sane person would do that. I don't think a person who did all this, she's saying he did to cover up this homicide, no fingerprints and no DNA and stuff, but you're going to just go confess to it later. I just think the state's reaching with that. I think they need to get better evidence. I don't think they're doing a good job.
Mariah, Felicia, thank you both so much for coming on and talking to me. I really.
Okay, family, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and here's the update.
Seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted.
Mariah Hamilton, the ex-girlfriend of accused murderer YNW Melly, sits down for an interview with us to talk about the case, her relationship with the rapper, and why she never appeared in court. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So anybody who follows Sidebar knows that we were pretty heavy in covering the YNW Melly double murder trial out of Broward County, Florida. This was the case of the rapper, real name Jamel Demons, who's accused of shooting to death his two friends and fellow YNW group rappers Christopher Thomas Jr., or YNW Juvie, and Anthony Williams, or YNW Sack Chaser. The two men were found shot to death on October 26, 2018, after Melly's co-defendant, Cortland Henry, or YNW Bortland, pulled up to the hospital with the bodies of Thomas and Williams in the car, claiming that they were all victims of a drive-by shooting. Now, the evidence has suggested that this was a staged drive-by shooting and that the shots actually came from inside the vehicle. And in their case, the prosecution focused on ballistics, trajectory, potential gang affiliations of YNW Melly, but in the end, it didn't work. The jury didn't find Melly guilty, but they also didn't find him not guilty. They actually couldn't make a decision. They were hung, and a mistrial was ultimately declared. It came after 14 hours of deliberations. Not an easy case. And as we think about the upcoming retrial, we look back at the case and we think, wow, there were a lot of people who testified. But there was one significant absence, someone who was mentioned but never appeared in court. YNW Melly's former girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton. Now, why is she so important? Well, Mariah Hamilton's mother, Felicia Holmes.
As always, family, it don't take much to be nice. We all gotta live on this planet together, walk in and out of each other's space. Respect is important. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share the program if you will. Still swinging out.